Hello, everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, sit a while, for we are playing some more franchise hockey manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning historical challenge. Alright, folks, we are in the thick of things here in the Eastern Conference for a playoff spot. We are tied with three other teams with 49 points, and then, there's two teams, one with 48 and one with 47. So it is pretty tight here in the East. Of course, as usual, I am scouring everything I can to try and find some help on D. And I am sorry to report that once again, I was not able to secure a trade. I have certain parameters that I'm looking for my D. I want them to be of a certain ability and a certain age threshold. So that kind of limits who I can go after. So I tried to go after Sandis Ozolinsh. The Sharks will not part with him. I don't blame them. That's almost their only good player. And then I went after Daryl Sidor as well, maybe a little bit lower profile guy. He did have some pretty good seasons in his career, and he did play in Tampa Bay, so that was kind of another, incentive for me to go after him, but the Kings didn't want to let go of him. I even tried to take a really bad contract that they had with a player on the block, and I just couldn't get him. So even by throwing a first-round draft pick in there, they didn't want to part with him either. So I'm kind of stuck here again. I'm wanting help on D, but I cannot find a trade partner. So to take a book from Mark Bergevin's book, I mean, he's a defenseman in my team here, but in real life, he's the GM of the Montreal Canadiens. So to take a page of his book, trading is hard, apparently. Usually I don't have that much problems making trades. But right now, it's kind of quiet on that front. So the trade deadline is in March, so there's still next month, and who knows what might fall on my lap. Until then, we never know. In the past, I've had some great trade offers for, marginal players. So we're going to go ahead and knock on wood. Oh, there's wood right there. So we're going to knock on wood here for that to happen again. If not, well, I mean, we have a winning team, so we also don't want to mess with that too much, I suppose. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started here in February. Who do I have in net? I need Abby Bullen. Yep, Abby Bullen's gonna play the first game against the Panthers, and then back home I'm gonna have Hackett play against the Sabres. So we have a few 2 games in 2 nights here. So Hackett is going to kind of be playing naturally, if that makes any sense. Alright, and just before we start, Brent Gretzky, just a reminder, hurt his knee, or bone bruise in his knee while practicing, so I don't know what he did. So he's out for 1 to 2 months. And then Kravtsov is starting to feel better. He's played day-to-day most of this season, so he hasn't had a great season. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show something real quick. So while I was looking at, making trades and everything, I noticed something. I just think that it's kind of funny. So you want to see some consistency. So take a look at Bill Garen's stats last season and this season. That's pretty crazy. So, of course, last year was a 48-game season, and we played 48 games this season. So, after 48 games in both seasons, 18 goals, 13 assists for 31 points in both seasons. This season, he has 44 penalty minutes. Last year was 40, so he took 2 more minors. Plus minus is not as good, though. So, I thought it was pretty funny when I saw that. That's the definition of consistency there. Maybe not greatest consistency, but it is consistency nonetheless. All right, enough talking. Let's get started here. All right, so Gary Suter has reached 600 points in his career with 2 assists against the New Jersey Devils. So Gary Suter is 31 years old, and he is still a 3.5-star player. Vincent Enfous also reached 600 points in his career with a goal against the Flyers. Vincent Enfous is 28 years old and he is still a 3-star player. Oh, well, see, that's what you get, Ozelinch, for not coming over to the to the Lightning. Ozelinch got suspended. He's going to miss one game with the Sharks. Luc Robitaille has produced 400 goals in his career. Got a goal against St. Louis. Luc Robitaille is 29, and he is still a 3.5-star player. Alright, Takeshi Okubo is satisfied with my work. Finally, you're changing your tune a little bit. Alright, and the Rangers have extended Mark Messier for one more year at $2.41 million. So the salaries are starting to increase slowly. Of course, we're still, a far cry from 2021, but it is still going up. All right, so new players. All right, so we are going to be playing at home. Did that flip on me? Or am I pretty sure that it was an away game and then a home game? It looks like it flipped on me. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. All right, so we are going to be playing at home against the Florida Panthers. So Panthers are 13, 28, and 10. That's good for 12th in the East. We are 1-1 against the Panthers this season. They did beat us one time. All right, so they're going to go with Blaine Laker in net. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Oh, that was a tight one, but we did win. We won 2-1 here against the Panthers. All right, so we outshot them 26-22. Mikael Anderson was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Valery Sharyayev, I think, is the second star with a goal, and Brian Bradley was the third star with 2 assists. I apologize for having so much problems with some of the names sometimes. We had 16,880 people in attendance for this game. Sean Chambers opened up the scoring in the first period from Mikael Anderson and Brian Bradley. And then the Panthers tied the game at 1 here after 1. Then in the second period, Mikael Anderson scored his 10th of the season from Brian Bradley. That was a 2-1 lead for Tampa Bay here after 2. And then nobody scored in the third, which means that we won 2-1. All right, pretty tight game. Lots of penalties. I think we might be starting to develop a rivalry with the Panthers. Suspension for Marty McSorley with the Kings. He's going to be out for 8 games. Sorry. Injury to sideline. Owen Nolan with the Avalanche. Second-degree MCL sprain, and he's out for 3 weeks. And in that same game, Peter Forsberg had a memorable game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Ray Shepherd scored his 300th goal in his career. Got a goal against Pittsburgh. Ray Shepherd is 29, and he is still a 3.5-star player. And that was 7 straight games for him with a goal. Steve Yzerman extends his assist streak to 8 games. He got 2 assists in that same game against Pittsburgh. Bob Bugner is back from suspension, so back in the lineup for Detroit. And Sandis Ozelinch is also back in the lineup for the Sharks. Sadly, not for the Lightning. All right, we're going to go ahead and put Hackett in net for the game in Buffalo. All right, so Buffalo is 19, 29, and 2. That's good for 11th in the East. And just to tell you how tight the standings are, we won our only game in February so far, and we dropped to 8. So that's that's what it is. In Buffalo, we are 2-0 against them. Both games we won 3-2, so hopefully we can pull another one of those here. I need for Hackett to have a kind of a good game here. So Hackett has been stopping pucks, but didn't get wins. So he's a little bit unlucky with that. So we have Hackett in net. They have Mike Rosati. Go Lightning, go. I didn't say it before the first game. We lucked out there. It's a 2-2 tie. Well, you want to win against a team like Buffalo because they're lower than you in the standings. At least we didn't lose, I suppose. It was a pretty tight game. So I'm not going to get overly upset about that. Dela Warchuk was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Robert Zvela was the second star with an assist, and Dave Andreychuk was the third star with a goal. And in case I didn't say it, I don't remember, we outshot Buffalo 28-26. It was very tight there. Alright, so Buffalo scored first in the first period, and then Bobby Olick scored from Robert Zvela and Rob Zmayo. It was a 1-1 game after one. Nobody scored in the second period, and then in the third, Dave Andreychuk scored for Buffalo, gave them a 2-1 lead, and then Jason Allison scored his 10th from Bill Garen and German Titov, 2-2 after 3, and of course nobody scored in overtime, so we have a tie game here. Vili Peltonen converts to left wing. All right. Oh, he's growing. He's a star and a half now, not just one star. All right. Oh, we're going to put Abby Boulin back in net. And we're heading to Colorado to play against the Avalanche. And then we're going to have a pretty long homestand. So I'm hoping that we can capitalize on that to get some W's here. Trevor Linden extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist here against the Jets. Pat Burns under fire. So the coach of the Leafs is under fire. His team is only playing for 500. Leafs are 23-23-6. And apparently that's not good enough for the... Apparently that's not good enough for the Leafs, and they want to maybe get rid of him. Alright, we are about to be in Colorado here to play against the Avalanche. Stu Grimson is on waivers. I don't need a face puncher. I already have one. Oh my god. Do you have Stu Grimson as a center? Okay. Ray Shepherd extends his goal streak to 8 games with a goal against the Florida Panthers. And Steve Yzerman extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist in that same game. Excuse me. Alright, I have an unruly cat in my room and it is distracting me. I'm going to pause real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so that is taken care of very gently. No cat was harmed during that procedure. Alright, so we are in Colorado. Colorado is really strong, as you would expect. They are 35-13-5. We have not played against Colorado this season. Alright, so Joe Sakic is out for a while. And Owen Nolan is also hurt right now. So 2 really good players out for the Avalanche. Hopefully we can capitalize on that. They have Stefan Fizem. They still have Ron Extall in net. So Extall is still a 4-star goaltender. Steve Duchesne, Kerry Hoffman, Curtis Lesishin, Magnus Ragnarsson, Leaf Rollin, Adam Foote, Alexei Gusarov, and Aaron Miller and Martin Steiniger. All right. There's some good D there. Maikov, Kamiensky, Lapointe, Ruzinski, Simon, Forsberg, Richie, Sundin, Matthew Barnaby, Kovalenko, Scott Young, and Kaloun. Yeah, there's even with Nolan and Sakic out, there's still a top-tier talent on that team. That is crazy. All right, so... well, let's play Colorado and hope for the best. We have our best goaltender in net. We have Abby Boulin, so hopefully you can give us a W here. And we're going to be facing Ron Extall. Alright, that's going to be a tough one. And we won! Woo! 3-2 in overtime. Alright, so we held on against the Avalanche. Thanks to Abibulin, he had a pretty good game in net there because we were outshot 35-27. Brian Bradley was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Adam Foote was the second star with an assist, and Jason Allison was the third star with an assist as well. Alright, so German Titov opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 15th of the season from Bill Garen and Jason Allison. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, the Avalanche tied the game. It was tied at 1. Then in the third period, Alexander McGillney scored his 20th on the power play from Vili Peltonen and Brian Bradley to give us a 2-1 lead. But then 20 seconds later, the Avalanche tied the game again. It was tied at 2. We went in overtime, and the hero 20 seconds in was Boris Mironov from Mikael Anderson and Brian Bradley, and we got a 3-2 victory here. Right, pretty good game. I was not necessarily expecting a win in Colorado there. Sergio Momesso and Paul Stanton are on waivers. I need the help on D, but Paul Stanton is not going to be helping me. Dave Manson in Edmonton is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Trevor Linden extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and an assist against the Whalers. Right, and Karpovtsev is almost recovered from that injury that's been bugging him most of the season, and we played him because we didn't have anybody else. At one point, all of my right Ds were hurt. Steve Yzerman's assist streak ended at 9 games, so he got a goal but didn't get an assist against the Panthers. Wayne Gretzky got 1,750 assists in his career with a goal and 3 assists against Toronto. So Wayne Gretzky is now 35 and he's still a 5-star player. Pat LaFontaine extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against the Flyers. And Karpovtsev is, I think, finally recovered. Yes, he is. All right. No more injury bugging him. He might play at, the best that he can. Trevor Linden extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal and an assist against the Oilers. All right, so Linden is on a little bit of a streak here. Alright, so we still have Abibulin in net, and then we are about to face the Detroit Red Wings. So at the start of this season, the Red Wings were really struggling, but they've turned things around. And now they have a winning record, so of course there's going to be a lot of talent in Detroit. We have to play well again. Feels like every game is pretty tough. Oh, and they have no injuries. Alright, so in net, it's not that great for Detroit. They have Byron Dafoe, but he's not fully developed yet. He's only a 1.5 star, and then Vincent Riendo is only a half a star anymore. I'm not sure that he's a lot of help for them. On D, we have Jeff Finlay, Nick Lidstrom, Yves Ressin, Bob Bugner, Brad Brown, Konstantinov, Chiasson, and that's it. So there's definitely some talent there, but there's also a few little holes, so I don't know. Patrick Yulin, Vyacheslav Kozlov, Bob Probert, Paul Eiserbart, Mark Bureau, Sergei Fyodorov, Keith Primo, Mike Slinger, Steve Yzerman, Cicerelli Drake, Green, Lapointe, and Ray Shepard. Yeah, that's not going to be easy unless, we can score goals on their shaky goaltending. We're going to need another good one from Abibulin here. Alright, so Detroit is in town. Byron Dafoe in net for them. We are going with Nikolai Abibulin. And it's a tie, and I will take it because the Red Wings are pretty good. And look at that. Oh boy, Abby Wooden was peppered. That's putting it mildly. We were outshot 54-26. We're pretty lucky to get out of that with a tie there. Bill Garen was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Nick Lidstrom was the second star with 2 goals and 2 assists. And Vili Peltonen was the third star with 2 assists. We had 15,764 people in attendance for this game. So the Wings opened up the scoring in the first, then Jason Allison scored from Bill Garen and Sean Chambers, and then Rob DiMaio from Bobby Olick and Vili Peltonen. It was 2-1 at that point, but the Wings scored again before the end of the period with 2 seconds left to go in the first, actually. It was tied at 2 here after 1. In the second period, the Wings looked like they were running away with the game. They scored 3 unanswered to make it 5-2 after 2. Didn't look too good for us at that point. But then in the third period, we managed to tie the game with 3 unanswered goals of our own. Bill Garen scored from Boris Mironov and Jason Allison. Then Brian Bradley on the power play from Alexander Mogilny and Vili Peltonen. And then Yanni Lokanen scored from Len Barry and Alex Selivanov to tie the game at 5, and of course nobody scored in overtime. So another tie, and this one I am a little bit more happy with than the other one. Ed Olchuk has a strong game. He had 4 assists against the Flames. Pat LaFontaine extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Leafs. Trevor Linden extends his point streak to 15 games with an assist against the Washington Capitals. And we're going to play Jeff Hackett against the Rangers. 2 games in 2 nights. The Rangers are 27-21-7. That's good for second in the East. We are 1-1 against the Rangers this season. So hopefully we can get another win here. Right, the Rangers are going to send Oleg Shevtsov in net, and we are going to go with Jeff Hackett. And we lost this game. I believe that's the first loss of the month, so I mean we cannot win them all. Again, we were peppered in shots, so Jeff Hackett, once again, not that lucky. We couldn't get him a W. We were outshot 43-30 in that one. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Vili Peltonen was the second star. He scored both of our goals. And Jeff Bukeboom was the third star with an assist. 15,429 people in attendance for this game. Rangers scored first in the first period, and then Vili Peltonen tied the game from Bobby Olick and Jason Allison. It was tied at 1 after 1. Dear God. What did Brian Bradley eat before the game? He took 3 straight penalties in the first, a roughing, a hook, and a boarding. Alright, then in the second period, the Rangers took the lead again, 2-1, and then Vili Peltonen scored his 5th from Bobby Olick, tied the game at 2 after 2. And then the Rangers scored 2 goals in the third period, and they got the win. The Lightning just couldn't tie the game. No tie this time around. Right, Mark Recchi got 600 points in his career. Got a goal and an assist against Colorado. Mark Recchi is 28 and still a 4-star player. Alright, and then... Alright, Brent Gretzky is getting ready to come back to practice. We're going to get Abby Boudin back in net. Alright, so we're about to play the Blues. Blues are 27-24-4, so that's pretty similar record to ours. We are 0-1 against the Blues. We did lose against them, I believe it was last month in St. Louis, 5-1. So hopefully we can repay them the favor on our own ice. So Cujo's going to be in net for The Blues, we are going with Nikolai Abibulin. Come on, we need another victory here. And we lost 2-1. Oh, goody. Yeah, this time we got robbed by Cujo. We outshot them 36-24. Craig Janney was the first star of the game. He scored both goals for the Blues. Jason Allison was the second star with an assist, and Jeff Brown was the third star with an assist as well. 14,400 people in attendance for this game. The Blues scored both of their goals in the first period. It was 2-0 St. Louis, and then we had two fights. So Bill Garen fought Brent Hughes, and then Brant Myers fought Brendan Shanahan. Then there was another fight in the second period between Bobby Olick and Brent Hughes. Wow, lots of fighting today. Then in the third period, we had Robert Zvela scored his fifth from Bill Garen and Jason Allison. It was 2-1, but that's the only goal we got. We couldn't tie the game. Yeah, then Barry had a pretty tough game. Alright, a night to remember for Steve Yzerman. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Kings. And that was 12 straight games with a point for him. Trevor Linden's point streak ended at 15 games, was held scoreless by the Jets. And Dale Hunter is suspended in Washington. He's going to miss 5 games. Oh dear God, we're playing Colorado again. That's not exactly the team you want to see on your schedule when you need a W. Dave Andreychuk extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Kings. And Pat LaFontaine extends his assist streak to 10 games with an assist against the Kings. Alright, Colorado's in town. They are 35-16-5. We did win just a few games ago in Colorado. It was a 3-2 overtime win, as I recall it. Abibulin lost to Fire, so we're playing Colorado again. Oh boy, that's not going to be easy. Alright, so Ron Extall is going to be in net for the Avalanche again, and then I'm going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Are we going to be able to beat them twice? Oh yeah, and pretty easy too. That's a 6-2 win for us. We outshot Colorado 43-16. Jason Allison was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Sean Chambers was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And German Titov was the third star with a goal and an assist. We had 16,767 people in attendance for the game. Nobody scored in the first period. And then in the second, we scored 5 unanswered goals. Jason Allison scored on the power play from Mikael Anderson and Vili Peltonen. Then Jason Allison again from Sean Chambers and Alex Selivanov. Bill Garen scored his 20th from Sean Chambers and Jason Allison. German Titov from Mark Bergevin. And then Sean Chambers from German Titov. It was 5-0 at that point. The Avalanche did score before the end of the period, make it 5-1 here after 2. There was a fight between Alex Selivanov and Adam Foote, and then another one between Bobby Olick and Chris Simon. That was all in the second period. Then in the third period, we added another goal. Bobby Olick scored from Rob DiMaio, made it 6-1, and then the Avalanche scored, make it 6-2, but that was too little too late. As we won 6-2, we needed that W. The standings are really tight. That is crazy. That's scary almost. Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 13 games with 2 assists against the Washington Capitals. Thank you to Detroit for beating Washington for us. They are right behind us in the standings. All right. Pat LaFontaine's assist streak ended at 10 games. He was held scoreless against the Devils. Steve Duchesne has 600 points in his career, got an assist against Florida. 30 years old, Steve Duchesne, still a 3-star player. And Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 14 games with an assist against the Blues. Alright, so we're playing against Philadelphia. We are tied with them and with Hartford in the standings, so a win would make us leapfrog both of them. Philadelphia is 26, 24, and 5. They are considered 6th in the East despite having the same amount of points. We still have Abibulin in net. Yeah, it's going to be Abibulin all the way to that Detroit game there. We are 1-1 against the Flyers this season. We, of course, need a W. Mikael Sandberg is going to be in net for the Flyers. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Come on, guys. We lost 3-1, so we are not leapfrogging nobody. We were outshot 34-29. Mark Recchi was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Sean Chambers was the second star with an assist. And Chris Therien was the third star with an assist as well. We had 14,808 people in attendance for this game. Alright, so the Flyers scored first in the first period. Then Jason Allison scored from German Titov and Sean Chambers. But then the Flyers scored again. And they were up 2-1 after 1. Then Brandon Convery had a illegal check to the head. So hopefully I don't have an injury for that. And then in the third period, late in the third, in an empty net, the Flyers scored again, made it 3-1. And yeah, nothing much to talk about here other than we were outplayed. And Convery is suspended. Good. He's going to miss 2 games. That will teach him to, headshot one of my players. Alright, last game of that long homestand. That didn't go quite as I wanted. I was expecting a few more wins. We lost quite a bit. Mick Vukota with the Penguins is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Mario Lemieux extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Oh, Yzerman has a torn fingernail and he's going to miss about 5 days. But before he had that, he managed to extend his point streak to 15 games with a goal against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Alright, so now Dallas is in town. They are 22, 29, and 6, so they're not doing that good. However, we did lose the first matchup against them in Dallas 6-1, so that wasn't a good game for us. So hopefully we can win. So they're going to go with Martin Klempe in net, and we are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Alright, well, we avenged ourselves in the best of manners. Not only did we win, but we won by the exact same score. So we won 6-1 this one. So we lost 6-1 in Dallas, and we won 6-1 in Tampa Bay. Oh god, they didn't get the goaltending. They actually outshot us 23-21. So we scored 6 goals on 21 shots. That's pretty impressive. That's going to help the good old team shooting percentage here. So Boris Mironov was the first star of the game with an assist. Sean Chambers was the second star with an assist as well. And Jason Allison was the third star with a goal and an assist. We had 15,750 people in attendance for this game. Robert Zvela opened up the scoring in the first period from Vili Peltonen and Bobby Olik. But then the Stars tied the game, so it was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, we scored 4 unanswered goals. Mikael Anderson scored from Boris Mironov and Alexander McGillney. Then Mikael Anderson again from Brian Bradley and German Titov. Then Jason Allison scored his 15th from Sean Chambers and Brian Bradley. Then Len Barry scored on the power play from Robert Zvela. It was 5-1 Tampa Bay after 2. And we had a fight between Brant Myers and Rudy Postchek. And then in the third period, German Titov scored from Jason Allison and Bill Garen, and that was a 6-1, very decisive victory despite only getting 21 shots on goal. I'll take it. Alright, so Dave Manson is back from suspension with the Oilers, back in the lineup. Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal against the Canucks. Oh, Rob Blake is hurt with the Kings. He's going to miss 3 weeks with a bruised wrist. So 26 years old, Rob Blake here hurt with the Kings. And Nick Lidstrom extended with the Red Wings. 3-year contract extension, $1.99 million per season. So almost $2 million per season. Alright, so now we're going on the road for a while. So we're going to be playing 6 straight games on the road. Actually, that's going to extend into the next video. Looks like the 2D game today is going to be against the Kings in LA. So we have 4 more games here before that happens. And nobody's offering us any good players, and there's nobody worth picking up on the waivers either. Alright, so we are going to be in Toronto. Now, Toronto is 26, 25, and 8. As we saw, they are kind of hovering around that 500 mark, and Pat Burns is in trouble over there. We did lose our first game of the season against them 4-1. Oh, I thought it was today, sorry. Forsberg signed a 2-year extension. Wow. That's crazy. They signed Forsberg to a 2-year extension worth $715,000 a year. That's a bargain. Wow. I wish my players would sign for my star players would sign for just that. All right, so we're playing in Toronto for real this time. All right, so we have Abby Boulin in net. The Maple Leafs are gonna have Grant Fuhr. And we won 7-5, so that's not a pretty one, especially for Abby Boulin. But we scored more goals than they did, so at the end of the day, sometimes that it has to be all that matters. We outshot Toronto 37-23, so yeah, really not a good night for Abby Boulin in net, but we backed him up with a lot of goals of our own. Brian Bradley was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Jason Arnott was the second star of the game with a goal and 2 assists, and Robert Zvela was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. Alright, so Zvela opened up the scoring in the first from Bill Garen and German Titov. Then Brian Bradley scored on the power play from Vili Peltonen. Then the Leafs scored, made it 2-1. Then German Titov scored on the power play as well from Robert Zvela and Brian Bradley. And then the Leafs scored, so it was 3-2 Tampa Bay here after 1. Then in the second period, Brian Bradley scored his 25th from Mikael Anderson and Alexander McGillney. Made it 4-2. Then Alexander McGillney scored from Yanni Lakanen and Brian Bradley. Made it 5-2. Tampa Bay at that point. Then we allowed 3 unanswered goals before the end of the period, so it was tied at 5 after 2. We had a fight between Wendell Clark and Bill Garen. Yeah, probably 2 similar type of players there that just punched each other in the helmet, more than likely. I like to say face punchers, but let's be real here. A lot of fights end up by being more helmet punching than anything. Alright, so in the third period, we had German Titov score from Marc Bergevin and Jason Allison, and then Robert Zvela from Marc Bergevin and Alexander McGillney. It was a 7-5 lead, and we held on to it. all the way to a victory. Right, good game in Toronto here. I was wondering maybe like Pat Burns would lose his job because of that game. Marty McSorley is back from suspension with the Kings, back in the lineup over there. So that means we're going to see him here in a few days unless he gets hurt or suspended again until then. Alright, so strong night for Joseph Dano with the Blackhawks. He had a hat-trick against the Blues. Dave Gagne lights the lamp. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Sens. Great night for Trent Klatt in that same game. He had 3 goals and 3 assists. Pretty good. Steve Yzerman's point streak ended at 16 games. He didn't get a point against the Leafs. And Fyodorov signed an extension with the Red Wings. Well, he's making 7.76 million, but they don't say for how long. With that, I would say probably 4 years-ish. Alright, so we're going to play against the Islanders in New York. So the Islanders are pretty good. They are 31, 25, and 1. That's good for 4th in the East. We are 1 and 2 against the Islanders this season, so they've been pretty good against us. We will play Abibulin for this game, and then I'm going to have Hackett in net against the Red Wings tomorrow. Alright, so that's a good team. Let's see if we can beat them. So Abibulin for us, Robert Shistad in net for the Islanders. Couldn't beat the Islanders again. They play well against us. We lost that one 5-2. They outshot us 35-32. Pierre Turgeon was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Jeff Norton was the second star with 2 assists. And Ziggy Palffy was the third star with a goal and an assist. German Titov scored his 20th from Alex Selivanov and Mikael Anderson. Made it 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then the Islanders scored 4 unanswered goals in the second period. And just like that, we were down 4-1 after 2. Then in the third period, the Islanders made it 5-1, and then Alexander McGillney scored on the power play late in the game from Brian Bradley and German Titov, but of course it was too little too late. We lost that one fair and square. They just played better than us and got more goaltending than we did. Injury forces Todd Krieger out, so Todd Krieger now plays for Pittsburgh in my save here, and he's out for 6 months, so we'll see you next year. Lemieux is day-to-day with an injury. Wow. The Penguins got depleted in that game against Hartford, but he's only day-to-day, so that shouldn't be too bad. In that same game, no one could stop Jaromir Jagr. He had 3 goals and an assist. And before getting hurt, Mario Lemieux managed to get 2 goals and 4 assists. Wow, so that was probably a angry Hartford player that took a cheap shot at the end of the game or something. Phil Housley played in his 1000th game in his career, celebrated that with an assist. That happened against the Chicago Blackhawks. Phil Housley is 31 and he is still a 4-star player. Alright, we're about to play the Wings. I'm going to put Hackett back in net for that one. Alright, so Detroit is now 28, 21, and 9, so they haven't lost much since we've seen them. We did tie them 5-5 in the first meeting. I was actually pretty happy with that result. I wouldn't mind another result like that. Another tie wouldn't bother me. Alright, so Jeff Hackett is going to be in net for us. Vincent Riendo is going to be in net for the Wings. Yeah, we lost 6-3 that one. We just weren't in it. We were outshot 51-25, so we were doubled in shots. Steve Yzerman was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Paul Yzerman was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Jeff Finley was the third star with 2 assists. So Yanni Lokanen opened up the scoring in the first from Alex Selivanov and Jason Allison. Then the Wings scored twice, so it was 2-1 Detroit here after 1. Then in the second period, Jason Allison scored from Yanni Locanen and Bill Garen, made it 2-2 after 2. Then in the third period, the Wings scored, made it 3-2. Then Alexander McGillney scored a minute and 2 seconds later on the power play from Brian Bradley. It was tied at 3. And then the wheels fell off the wagon. We allowed 3 unanswered goals. We lost 6-3. Yeah, we need to start winning some games. The standings are so tight, and we played more games than, the two teams right behind us, so that's not good. Mick Vukota is back from suspension in Pittsburgh, and same thing for Delonter in Washington. All right, so we're going to put Abby Boonen back in net. And then we are already at the last game of the month where we're going to be playing against the Kings. And as a surprise to absolutely nobody that's been following this playthrough since the beginning, Rudy Postchek is suspended. He's going to miss 1 million games. Just exaggerating, he's going to miss 11. All right, Brent Gretzky's getting close to come back. All right, so Mario Lemieux extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against the Canucks. And Brent Gretzky is about to come back. We already know that. All right, so we have Abby Boonen in net. We're good there. The Kings are 33, 26, and 5, so they're better than us. And we did lose 8-5 against the Kings earlier this season, so we're going to look into hopefully beating them. Yeah, that's going to be probably a tough game. All right, we're going to have Nikolai Abibulin in net. They're going to go with Yuka Temi. And here's the 2D action. All right. Go, little white squares, go. Well, that didn't take long. The puck is already out of play. Yes, Sidor, you could have been on my team if your team was willing to trade you. I tried. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit shorter of a video today, it looks like. Still probably going to be over an hour, but at least closer to an hour than to an hour and a half. Oh, it's a goal! We're up 1-0. Alex Selivanov scored, assisted by Len Barry. So Alex Selivanov finally doing something here. You've been very quiet this season. I was expecting for a few more goals. I understand I'm playing you on the 4th line, but I've also put you on the 3rd line, and you didn't do much there either. Oh, Abby went in with the big save there. Oh, another one. And that's an icing. All right, 14:08 left to go in the first period. We are 1-0 against the Kings in LA. Oh, I thought it was in. Come on, guys. I believe in you. Oof, our 4th line is getting caved in right now. Whew. It's a save. 9:23 left to go in the first period. Alright. Come on, guys. Let's attack the net. Alright. They stole the puck. We stole it back. Now it's going pretty fast, and I don't know what's going on. Alright. Alright. There's been an offside. 4:33 left to go in the first. We are still up 1-0. Abby Wooden makes the save. Oh, Gretzky's on the ice. Please be careful, guys. Oh, McGillney with the goal. Assisted by Mikael Anderson. We are up 2-0 here in the first. 3:52 left to go in the first period here in LA. Oh, we're playing our fourth line against Gretzky. That's better. We don't have our fourth line anymore. That's our second line. Oh. That's a save. Less than a minute left to play in the first period. Moins d'une minute à jouer en première période. See, I'm pretending like I'm the announcer, like I have great talent to act. No, not really. And we scored. Alexander McGillney scored from Boris Mironov. Made it 3-0 with 29 seconds left to go here in the first period. So, the worst lead in hockey, folks. Let's see what happens from here. Alright, so we are up 3-0 after 1. They had 10 shots, we had 12, so Tammy is having some problems there. Alright, so let's go ahead with the second period. Oh, we got a few shots there. That's a save. Oh, there's been a penalty here, a cross-check from Boris Mironov, and we're giving the Kings an opportunity to get on the board here with their first power play of the game. And they did score on their power play. Pavel Bure from Wayne Gretzky and Mike Donnelly. So it is 3-1 Tampa Bay here in the second period with 15:45 left to go. So please don't take any more penalties. Puck is out of play. And we scored 4-1. Bobby Elick from Vili Peltonen and Rob DiMaio. It is a 4-1 lead in the second period with 14:46 left to go. Kings fans are probably really upset. How can a brand new team like the Tampa Bay Lightning that's been in the league for only a few seasons can be scoring goals against Wayne's team? And the puck is out of play. 12:01 left to go in the second period. We are up by 3. Worst lead in hockey. All right. Oh, there's been a fight between Bill Garen and that's Jeff Smith, I think. Uh-oh. 17, that's probably Thomas Sandstrom, unless he got, I don't think he got traded. 9:22 left to go in the second, 4-1. And that's a save from Abby Bullen. Uh-oh. Oh, Mikael Anderson with a trip. Alright, we're killing another penalty. We know how that ended up last time. We didn't really kill it. Alright, we killed that penalty, so that's good. Alright, another save, another save. Oh, it's a goal! Bobby Ellick again from Peltonen and Sean Chambers. Yeah, their goaltender was maybe a little weak on that one. We're up 5-1 in the second period with 3:52 left to play. It's pretty good. Oh, another goal. Alexander McGillney, I think that's his third. Yeah, hat trick for McGillney from Brian Bradley. We are up 6-1 with 2:33 left to go in the second period. Don't let it up, guys. Let's score 12. Yeah, they changed goaltenders. McGillney had 5 guys on him, and he still managed to go all the way to the net and get a shot. That's a save on Gretzky, of all people. All right, so we are up 6-1 after 2. Pretty good game. The Kings got 28 shots. We actually got outshotted so far. We only have 21, but their goaltender was very generous. He allowed 6 goals on 20 shots. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and play that third period. Marty McSorley took a tripping penalty. Let's go ahead and get a goal here on the power play. Oh, what's going on here? Yeah, that does that from time to time. That's the second time I've seen that happen. Like where it looks like the face-off is going to be in the wrong side of the ice. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, German Titov with a goal on the power play from Brian Bradley and Alexander McGillney. Another point for my top players. It is 7-1. Come on, let's finish off the demolition derby. Oh, I thought it was in. I thought Brant Myers had a goal. I was about to get pretty excited there. Come on. Alright, you can do this. Marty McSorty with a hook. Alright, let's score again. 7-1 in the third period. We 13:40 left to go. Oh, Peltonen here, chasing the puck. I think it's been pretty good for him to play the point after all. I think he's been doing okay doing that. I definitely saw his name on the score sheet a little bit more. Oh, Vili Peltonen with the trip here. So we're giving LA a power play opportunity with 10-11 left to go in the third period. We are still up 7-1. Yeah, I think the goaltending really screwed the Kings in this game. Right, that power play is almost over. And it is over now. Oh, I thought maybe it was going in. Brant Myers with a hold. And the Kings are going back on the power play. 6:34 left to go in the third period. The Kings are probably, and their fans are probably hoping that it's going to be over soon. Come on, let's kill that. So pretty good game for Abby Bullen. He did get some shots. Oh, Brant Myers with the breakaway out of the box, couldn't score, and now Alexei Zitnik took a penalty, and we are going on the power play. Let's make it 8-1, guys. Again, it's going on the... Oh, it's a 4-on-4, okay. So there were 2 penalties taken there. Oh. Alright. 14 seconds of 4-on-4 left to play. Another icing. 2:11 left to go in the third. Another icing. Oh, the Kings have just given up at that point. Five seconds left to go in the third period. I think it's going to be a win for us. Don't want to jinx it, but yeah, we won 7-1. Really good game in LA here. I was not expecting that, so it's a 7-1 victory. We had a lot of points. We had a hat trick from Alexander McGillney. That's what I got him for, the goals. All right, so We actually were outshot 35-29. Alexander McGillney, first star of the game, 3 goals and an assist. Nikolai Abibulin was the second star with 34 saves, and Yanni Lokanen was the third star with 2 assists. So Alex Selivanov scored the first goal of the game. That was his 5th of the season from Len Barry and Sean Chambers. Then McGillney from Mikael Anderson and Yanni Lokanen. Then McGillney scored his 25th from Boris Mironov and Yanni Lokanen. And it was a 3-0 lead after 1. Then in the second period, the Kings scored on the power play. Then we scored 3 more goals. Bobby Olick from Vili Peltonen and Rob DiMaio. Bobby Olick again from Vili Peltonen and Sean Chambers. Then Alexander McGillney completed his hat trick from Brian Bradley and Mikael Anderson. It was 6-1 at that point. Then in the third period, German Sitov scored on the power play from Brian Bradley and Alexander McGillney, and that was a 7-1 victory. And we had, I thought it was Jeff Smith, it's Brad Smith. Brad Smith and Bill Garen got into a scrap there in the second period. So really, really, really good game to end the month. We needed that. All right, so Alexei Kasatonov is available. Daniel Shank, Bob Sweeney, and Alex Hicks. Wow, the Kings are trying to pass 1 million players through waivers after that game against us. A night to remember for Alexander McGillney. Yep, 3 goals and an assist. That's pretty good. Lubomir Sekerash in Ottawa is suspended. He's going to miss 5 games. Yannick Perreault has a great game in Toronto. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Jets. Yeah, we're looking at the same players as always. Brent Gretzky almost back. And Ray Bourque finalizes extension with Boston for 2 more years. $2.15 million a year. Ray Bourque is 35, still a 5-star player. Alright, so we are... Oh, no, it's a leap year. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and sim February 29th. Now we're right there. Jason Marshall got hurt in practice or something. Craig Billington back on waivers from the Kings. Mario Lemieux extends his assist streak to 9 games with 2 assists against the Flames. Steve Yzerman has a strong game, 4 assists against the Islanders. Brent Gretzky is ready to come back, and the players of the month were Vincent Riendo and Steve Yzerman. So Detroit had a pretty good month. All right, so we are 6th in the East. Things are pretty tight, though. We have 3 points. We are 3 points up on the Flyers, who are 8 with the same amount of games played. Whalers are 4 points behind us with a game on hand. So, yeah, we really cannot allow ourselves to lose consistently. All right, so Bob Basson is going to go back down, and we're going to get... Oh, no, Aaron Gavey, sorry. Is going to go back down. Doesn't have to clear waivers. And we're going to get Brent Gretzky back in the lineup. And we are going to scratch, I guess, Selivanov, huh? No, let's scratch Brant Myers. Face punching. Let's scratch him for now. We'll see if we need more face punching down the line. Alright, so let's take a look. Pretty sure he's still gonna be best as a playmaker, but let's make sure of that. Yep, playmaker it is. Alright, DiMaio is not doing much of anything. We're going to put Peltonen back on the right. And we're going to put Brent Gretzky back on the 3rd line there. you know what? I think I'm gonna stay right there. Right there. It's been working for Peltonen like that. I think I'm just gonna keep it that way. Shouldn't have to change anything here. Or here. Alright. Alrighty, so let's take a look at our stats here. Oh, let's take a look in the West first. Let's see the Red Wings ascension. Yeah, look at that. They're going up and up. They had a really crappy start to the season. So in the West, we have Chicago, that's first, Colorado, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Detroit, LA, Calgary, and St. Louis. Yeah, Chicago has lost some games. I remember that they were like a top and it wasn't even close. So the best team in the league is Pittsburgh. And the worst team in the league is still San Jose, but they're closing in on the Sens. My Sens are not doing too good. Alright, so let's take a look at our stats. Alright, so Brian Bradley still more than a point per game, 67 points in 61 games. Mogilny is 59 in 59. And then Titov is 44 in 55. Anderson 42 in 61. Garen 40 points. Allison 40 points. And Zvela's our best defenseman at 32 points. And it really starts to fall down from there. Right, so Peltonen is 20 points in 39 games. That's not too bad. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the goalie stats here. Oh boy. Both of my goaltenders have a 912 percentage. Go, and they are both saving above expected goals, especially at Bibelin. Pretty good, 8 point, almost 9. But yeah, at the end of the day, Hackett just allows more goals. That's because he gets peppered with more shots. Alright, let's take a look in the entire league. Who is the best goal scorer? That is Mario Lemieux, 45 goals. So pretty safe to say that unless he has an injury, he's probably going to reach 50. Then for assists, it's Mario Lemieux as well, 78 assists. So he's, of course, the best scorer by quite a bit, actually. Almost 30-point leads on second place, Doug Gilmour. So Mario Lemieux has 123 points. So yeah, 9-12, we're right there among the leaders. Not top, but Abby Boulin is considered to be ninth with a 912 saving percentage, so he's doing the job. He's not the best, but he's doing okay. And then yeah, he's among the leaders as well for saves, goal saves compared to what is expected. So Andy Moog is way up there with almost 24, but Abby Boulin is 11th with 8.8. So again, not too bad. All right, so yeah, we've looked pretty good this month. Well, we're still just a few games above 500, which tells me we played for mostly close to 500 this month. That's not terrible, but we really need to go on a winning streak, of 4 or 5 games to kind of get us some separation with the other teams. On the calendar next month, we have games against the Capitals and the Flyers that are probably going to be important, and the Whalers, and then Washington again, so we cannot drop those games. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and save the game, and you know what that means? That means that I am done talking a lot. So I am going to thank you for tuning in, and as usual, if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff, and until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.